Welcome to BIA, Canada's top black media provider. Whether you're looking for shows on fashion, art, music, or simple lifestyle, we bring you the best content the black community in Canada has to offer and so much more. And better yet, do you have an idea for a project you'd like us to help you with? We provide equipment, studio, and office space, as well as a team of dedicated individuals to help you bring those ideas to life. So don't wait. Check out our new website at biamedia.ca for more information on how to contact us and start creating today. BIA Media, your way.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also host the only online conversation in the world for dads and fathers that is co-sponsored by Dove Men Care and Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. And being part of that collaboration last year, I was part of a team that reached out to over 100,000 fathers and dads around the world. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We're broadcasting live February 13th, cold here in Toronto, crazy cold, but we got heat because every Sunday afternoon, or most Sunday afternoons at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, we do Black Canada Talking, which is a live online event that provides Black Canadians the opportunity to give their takes and POVs on stories that are of importance to them. We're going to have a spirited conversation today because we have Sarah Youngo on. Unfortunately, Cesar and Elle could not make it. And bi-weekly, just to give a little background, bi-weekly we do our roundtables, and then the weeks that we don't do our roundtables, we're spotlighting Black Canadians that you should know about, or if you know about them, you're going to get to know more about them. So that's all about it. So let's do it today. Myself and Sarah are going to have a spirited conversation on some important things that you may not know or need to know more of. So let us welcome Sarah Youngo, who has just been on the go, looking fantastic, by the way.
Hey.
Looking beautiful on
Thank
you.
Thank you. Ghana. Yes.
Very
I'm
nice.
not from Ghana, but I love Ghana.
Beautiful. How are you keeping during this, especially during this month?
Listen, happy Black on time, Black on purpose, blackity black, getting paid, Black being paid attention to, Black and beautiful as usual.
Sarah's on fire. Sarah's on fire.
Hey, listen, I'm just blacker than ever right now, and I am so sought after. It's like, listen, the shortest and coldest month, let's give these Black people some attention and then shut them up for the rest of the year. Even though our history is written all the time, every day, all week long.
365, 365, 52, 24.
Listen.
I'm telling you. So how has your month been? No. You know what, folks? Let just Sarah tell you how her day has been today. Forget the whole month, just her day. So tell us what your day's been like today.
Okay, so you wake up and you do a radio interview for half an hour, part of it in Spanish, which is like my, I don't know, sixth language or something like that.
Wow.
I ended up reading some prepared remarks I made because there's no way I was gonna, And after that, Black History Ottawa, the organization I volunteer for, which coordinates the calendar for Black History Month in Ottawa, we had a children's storytelling event, which was really fabulous and is available online. I invite you to go see it. And now I'm doing this. I actually came out of a meeting. I sneaked out of a meeting so I could do this. So it's very busy, very busy.
Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for taking the time. Uh, Short little thought question to here, because the next time we do a roundtable will be the last Sunday of this month.
Mm-hmm.
When we'll have, and actually one of the people that want to come on that conversation is Louis March, so that's going to be quite interesting. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Nah, love me some Louis March, y'all. Mm-hmm.
How has this Black History Month compared to others for you, if at all?
Oh, it is. You know what? For me, Black History Month is vitamins for my soul. It really is vitamins for my soul. I see so much amazing Black activity, Black intellectuals, Black children's events going on in English and French. I mean, it's so empowering to see all of that Black activity, and to see that an increasing number of institutions have jumped on the bandwagon, because let's keep it 100. It is a bandwagon, okay, because they all into this EDI, whatever, equity, diversity, inclusion tip, whatever. And everybody wants to look good, especially in the post George Floyd era. So, but you know what, I'll take it, because I remember when we were in the wilderness back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Just after Dr. Augustine managed to get the motion passed into law, when even mainstream media in Canada would barely write 2 lines about Black History Month, right? Now we get bombarded with interview requests and appearance requests and this and this and that, and partnerships and collaborations and speaker invitations, left, right, and center. Everybody wants to get in on it, right? So the one thing that I'm glad to see has changed. Black people are demanding to get paid to do that stuff, because I remember when I started, it was expected that you would just volunteer your time because you're just a Black person, and this is your history, your culture, so you need to be doing for free what we pay some white people to do. That has changed, and that is a good thing, because that means organizations like the Ontario Black History Society, Black History Ottawa, Jacques Combit, all these organizations have money coming in for their services to these mainstream entities.
Wonderful. That's inspiring and adding light. But our first conversation piece,
I'm just trying to relax.
you can be yourself here. And I think it's very important that people know where Sarah lives.
I live in the National Capital Region. I like many people here, I live on the Quebec side. It's more affordable in terms of housing. But my entire life happens on the other side of the Ottawa River, aka Ottawa. I work 2 blocks away from Parliament Hill for the past 17 days. Going into work, and in fact, having to walk part of the way to work because commuting has been completely disrupted. No Quebec buses were going across to Ottawa until this past week. They would stop at the train station near the War Museum, and then you'd have to take the train to go into Ottawa, because all of Wellington blocked completely, all down, Rideau Street up to Elgin, and, big trucks with motors running all day, all night. And up until this very brave young Chinese Canadian woman of 20-something years old filed a lawsuit and got an injunction for them to stop blaring their horns all day In fact, it got so bad, I ended up having to work from home for a number of days because I had a headache that wouldn't go away. It was like a 4-day headache that just wouldn't leave. So, it's quieter, but we still have occupiers running around, acting, very unsafe, bullying residents, intimidating people. The latest incident I heard was actually not far from where I work. One of the buildings, these guys went there and they were trying handcuffs on the door handles at the entrance of the building. There's photos. They were caught on camera doing this. The week before, people were trying to set the entrance, the lobby on fire. There was an attempt at arson.
Anyone arrested?
I'm not sure. I'd have to go to the Ottawa the Ottawa Police Service website to see what happened with that. But, and just the daily aggravation and also the insult to the injury of these people running around freedom and end the mandates, and we don't want vaccines and this and this and that. We want our lives back. Ironically, as of last week or the week before, the government of Ontario was reopening things this weekend, Valentine's Day weekend and Super Bowl weekend. Our downtown Ottawa businesses were expecting to start getting back to business and making up for a lot of lost revenue since the occupation began, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And ironically, everything is closed.
Still.
Including the Rideau Center. The
Still.
Rideau Center. Closed.
Still.
Closed. No, because what's happening is these people go in and they swarm employees and fellow shoppers. They're not wearing masks. They're yelling. They're touching everything. Basically, they're running around trying to infect everybody. And the workers just they felt unsafe coming to work. So a decision was made to shut it all down. So around where I work, nothing's open. Rideau Center, nothing's open. In the Briarwood Market, hardly anything's open. And I think you heard the story of how they went to the Shepherds of Good Hope and they swarmed that. And they raided the soup kitchen and they were demanding free food. And listen to me. These are some thugs. These are not like your run-of-the-mill tree hugger, environmentalist, land defenders, women's rights activists, Black Lives Matter, gay rights people. No. Don't be fooled by, the smiley faces and the people who look like they're just having a good time on Parliament Hill. By the way, so all of these images you're seeing over there outside of Ottawa of the bouncy castles and the smiling little kids and the parents with their kids and the big stage that's set up right at the entrance of Parliament Hill with the big screen and blaring speakers, that is a front. I keep telling, this is an occupation and it's an attempted coup. Let me repeat. It's an attempted coup. It's an attempted coup because it seems that the organizers, the insurrectionists, seditionist organizers, they've set up camp somewhere. And for whatever reason, people just can't come in and out as they want. You have to, identify yourself. They follow you around, et cetera, et cetera. And they have held at least 2 press conferences that I have seen where they have openly declared that they are trying to replace the current federal government.
Again, I'm going to ask, arrests?
Well, the police keep saying daily, we've arrested 20-something people for mischief and disorderly conduct and this and this and this and this. Listen, I'm from Africa. If it smells like a coup, it walks like a coup, It's a coup, y'all. It's an attempted coup. This is how they work. Like they come, they occupy the place, then they try and sort of block off major infrastructure. You saw in Windsor where they what they did with the bridge. You've seen in Coutts, Alberta, Emerson, Manitoba, where they're blocking the border.
Mm-hmm.
My dears, this is how this works in Africa. This is how we do this. Block off all of the, cripple, any means for the economy to be running, for the state to be functional, and take over by force if necessary. These guys have taken their time. Where I come from, usually, the army comes in and,
wipes out.
The rest.
Yep.
But here we are, quote unquote, civilized. There's nothing civilized about what these people are doing. And if somebody tells me one more time about a peaceful demonstration, ain't nothing peaceful about terrorizing people in their neighborhoods, yelling at people who are wearing masks, want to protect themselves, do believe in science, do believe in vaccines, want everything to reopen just as badly as you do, want their lives back just as badly as you do. There ain't nothing peaceful about that. It is not peaceful. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm going to say what has been said by a lot of Black and Indigenous activists, leaders, etc. This here is white privilege on steroids in broad daylight. Broad daylight. Broad daylight. There are countless videos that are being streamed, some of them live, some posted all over the place, where you see, mainly white protesters chummy with police and talking about, hey, brother, yeah, we know you support us, brother. And then the fist bumps and the handshakes and the... Do you think some Black people or some Indigenous land defenders would have gotten that kind of courtesy? Oh, hell no. Hell no. 17 days? Let me tell you about some 17 minutes. Okay? Right. Guns drawn. Like guns. We would have seen guns a long time ago. And tear gas. Paddy wagons. Handcuffs.
So let's break this a little bit down more. I want to ask you about some politicians and representatives' performance so far, specifically when it comes. Oh gosh,
politicians.
No, I'm not. I'm going to start. Peter Slowly, police chief, Ottawa. Thoughts of his, lack of a better word, handling of this situation so far.
Listen, everybody wants to put everything in his lap. They want to blame him for everything. Yet, I mean, this is not a dumb guy. And he did admit after a week and a half or so that, yeah, we did underestimate what this actually was. Because I don't know if your viewers know this, but Parliament Hill, there's protests there every day. Sometimes there's 4 protests that one same day. The RCMP is on that hill 24/7. There's RCMP. There's Parliamentary Protective Services. There's Ottawa Police. That place is guarded and the police are patrolling all the time because there's protests all the time. The only thing is, there are a set of agreed to terms. Here's your permit. You can only go here, here, and here. If you're going to walk up and down the street, we need a squad car in the front, a squad car in the back, so that we can guide you to the streets where you can go protest. We give you a certain amount of time. You stand, you shout, and then you leave. Okay?
Right.
And really, until this protest, and maybe Idle No More, in my recent memory, that has been observed. It's been respected. People understand that this is our cause. This is what we're doing. We want to raise attention. We have to bring attention to this cause, blah, blah, and then they leave. Okay? These guys, Oh, no, no, no. There's tents everywhere. People have camping tents. They've set up lines of barbecues and the bouncy there. Listen, there's a sauna.
What?
Listen to me. There is a tub, a sauna. I will send you the picture of that. People are taking baths in that sauna out in the open around
Come
the
on.
National War
Come
Memorial.
on. You're no.
I am not even kidding, and your viewers can go and check for themselves. They can, yep, they are there. And then there's that National War Memorial. For me, that really, really hurts. I don't have family that are or were in the military, but as you know, I do a lot of work with our Black veterans who I adore and respect for the sacrifice that they went through. Imagine people going there and urinating on the tomb of the unknown soldier. I could scream and cry at the same time at that. How dare they? And some protesters, the first wave of counter protesters, when they saw that, they came and they had that whole thing fenced. Do you know what happened yesterday?
No.
Occupiers went there and brought down the fencing and
Oh, I heard about the yes.
and now occupied the National War Memorial. And guess what? Some of the occupiers are people wearing military fatigues and claiming to be veterans. Yes. Yes. This is mad. This is mad. It's not about vaccine mandates.
No,
Don't
it's
even
not.
listen to that. No, it's not. And by the way, when people try to explain to them, did you not hear the news? Premier Legault announced that, this is the timeline, and that's like next week. What are you doing here? Premier Ford said blah, blah, and that's in a few days. I don't get it. What are you doing here?
Well,
the Manitoban premier said this. I don't get it. Like, what is? And then they go, no. We want all the mandates. It's not about mandates. It is not. White privilege on steroids. There have been signs around here. Take back our country. Make Canada great again. Trump flags. Swastika. Confederate flags. The white power people are here too. It may have started with mandates. The mandates are a cover. It's a cover. It may have started with that. But the masterminds ain't about that. They have their agenda.
So and thank you for a detailed thing on this. More stuff we got to get into. What do you think of Doug Ford's performance during this?
Oh, listen. So, dude was only worried about Queen's Park, Toronto. And then when the occupiers decided, Toronto didn't work. Hey, the Ambassador Bridge, let's do that. All of a sudden, because the economy is directly impacted in a blue-collar region where he most likely has a large base. Oh my God. No. Emergency measures. This and this and this. And add to that, President Biden getting in and the governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, coming in and saying, hold up, Canada. Y'all are cute, but, several billions worth of trade. No, we can't play that. Y'all just get your toys together and just sort it out and, clean this mess up. We can't be doing this. Oh, so that's now when Ford decided.
From his ski snowmobiling trip.
There you go. He was asked about it by reporters last week, for sure, right? And the thing with Ottawa is the Ottawa area is not his base. It's predominantly liberal, with one NDP MP and maybe 2 conservatives, if I'm not mistaken. It's not his base. So he figures, well, those aren't my people anyway. Plus, the federal government's there, let them deal with it, whatever. I'm going to deal with what's impacting my money and my votes. There's an election coming up in June, y'all. Keep that in mind.
Question for you then. What are your thoughts about allegedly some money being donated by Americans?
It's not alleged. It was proven, and there's supposed to be some sort of emergency committee hearing about foreign funding of this occupation. I'm not sure if it happened already or if it's going to happen. And all members of all parties are going to be participating in that. And they're supposed to bring in or have brought in GoFundMe.
Yes.
To quiz them about, okay, y'all, like what, how did that even happen? And apparently Give Send Go, which is the so-called Christian alt-right crowdfunding platform, funds are being frozen there too. They found a way. And somebody sent me information today that one of the ringleaders was on camera complaining because TD Bank has frozen their accounts. TD Bank has frozen their accounts.
And why would they be upset about that?
Because white privilege. We're allowed to be bad as we want to be. And you can't touch our money. And TD said, yes, we can. So one thing I'm wondering, I don't know if someone in your audience might know something about this. Do we not have like anti-terrorism laws or something?
Yeah.
Remember when
after what happened on the Hill
9/11?
Well, not only that, but just what happened on the Hill a few years ago, that gentleman who went rogue on the Hill, like, wouldn't you think there's things in place to...
Yeah, but that one does not really affect the funding of such activities. That was a quote unquote lone wolf, right? I'm talking about organized occupation and operations like this one that we're seeing here. In Ottawa.
One could say that this is almost like a foreign attempt of a takeover.
Well, it's well known, and they have boasted about it. And you saw, I think it was the governor of Texas. There were several governors of southern states. I think it was Texas who asked the attorney general to look into the freezing of the GoFundMe funds that flowed into Canada from Texas.
A lot of them from Texas.
I'm like, okay, dude, really? The level of stupidity? Like, would you even mention that you are meddling in a foreign country that way when you all just went through the whole Russia investigation? I mean, right? So, true. And it's well known. Fox News is up here. Fox News is on Wellington. They've got a crew there. They've been doing reports out of there. TC, I can't even say his whole name because I despise him so much. TC has been going on and on about, the quote unquote brave occupiers, So, we're in trouble when Fox News decides that, you are the story. It's not a good look.
No, it isn't. What do you think? And again, you're free to say what do you think about the reaction or maybe lack thereof of the federal government?
As usual, because this is not going to be the first time that, the federal government was kind of behind the 8 ball and sort of caught flat-footed. And here in Ottawa, the problem is we have all these different layers of bureaucracy. So, for example, when one Confederation Park was taken over the heads of our First Nations, whose land that is, thank you, the Algonquins here, everybody was sort of throwing the ball back and forth saying, well, no, that's a National Capital Region issue. Yeah, but City Hall, Ottawa City Hall is right across the street from that. Where's Ottawa Police? Well, it's kind of near the parliamentary precinct, so, we should have art. No. And having to wait for the National Capital Commission to send some communication, official communication requesting that the Ottawa Police intervene, blah, 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 blah. So back and forth with all of the bureaucracy. So that's the one thing we are hearing. I'm not sure if that's really true, that's really, really what the problem is. And then, of course, the Ottawa Police is not, we don't have those numbers to deal with literally tens of thousands
of people.
of human beings. And right now, we still have 400 plus trucks. And I'm telling you, I walk past them going to work and going home. Some of them are pretty huge with flatbeds, and some of them are big enough to have porta potties, and so
wow.
There's going to be all of us here are very eager to see the post-mortem, and it would be interesting to see who is going to throw Slowly under the bus. Everybody's complaining, Slowly, Slowly, Slowly. Slowly is one man leading one police force, which, by the way, is not necessarily all supportive of him. Before this happened, there was a lot of tension, and there were these officers that were undermining him. You don't want to be led by a Black man who wants to change things. He wants to change the culture and change the way OPS does business. Not everybody's on board with that. So already there was that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, people in the peanut gallery who are not privy to what's actually happening on the inside, and who are not used to the concept of de-escalation.
Yeah.
Right?
It blows my mind that Ottawa is still basically under lockdown. It blows my mind what happened at the Ambassador Bridge. Like, especially in Ottawa, it's just not a good look. And because it's going on so long, like that's
17 days. So the latest is that now that counter protesters now are massing at different points, physically stopping convoys from coming in. Suddenly, Tamara What's-Her-Face is finally talking to the mayor, and they have some agreement to move most of the trucks, all of the trucks out of the residential part of the downtown, and reorganizing the trucks that are on Wellington Street, blah, 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 and moving the occupation further outside the downtown core, etc. But this is because now Ottawa citizens have decided to take back their streets. And you know what? I have to applaud these brave souls who just decided, no, we're not doing this. And there are a lot of people who have come here. They don't care about the people here. They don't care about the freedom of the people here. They don't care about the safety of the people here, their health, their quality of, they don't care. They really, really don't. It's all about them. My freedom. Freedom. As a Black person, I'm insulted. That's another layer to this. I'm insulted at the word freedom being bandied about like that, because those same people fighting for your freedom, those are not the people I saw at the Black Lives Matter protests in 2020. No. Sorry. Those are not the people I saw at the Justice for Abdirahman Abdi protests. No.
Right.
Nope. Those are the ones who are going to stand around and just look and leer when they see a Black man being roughed up, dragged out of a squad car, or dragged into a squad car. They're not going to go to his rescue and talk about his freedom at all. Freedom? Really? privilege.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's privilege.
Wow.
Okay, let me calm down.
No, it's okay. It's good.
I
You're
need a
fine.
drink.
No, this is good. So as what should be the next steps as things stand right now? It sounds like from what I heard reports wise, Windsor seems to be somewhat getting back to full function. But what needs to happen in Ottawa?
Mr. Ford, could we have some of that riot police you've got out there? You know, the ones that you used for the G8 or G20, or I forget which major event you had where you were, herding people into certain sectors, then beating those guys. Can you bring those guys here to Ottawa, please? Because they look really, really equipped, and they look like they don't play. They're not going to be letting you set up your hot tub and your sauna out in the street and your barbecue grills and everything. No. So what needs to happen is serious action right now. Serious. Before somebody gets hurt. Because that's the fear as well.
You're really I am nothing surprised me anymore, but I'm sort of going, how come no one's got severely hurt?
That we've seen.
True.
Or that we've heard of, because Ottawa Police is not putting out all the information. And I don't blame them either. Policing is not, it's not a black and white and sort of, it's not. It's messy.
Yes.
And there's a lot of negotiation and calculation that goes into it. And it looks like, for the most part, Ottawa Police sort of decided de-escalation, talking people into leaving. They spent a lot of time doing that, snatching up the real bad guys, like people who were really, really just defacing property and being disruptive and threatening people, and just not giving the ringleaders, those ex-RCMP and military guys, not giving them any excuse to come in and carry out the nonsense they've got planned over there at the baseball stadium. No, seriously. They're just waiting for that. I'm sure that's what they're waiting for.
Do you at all see the possibility of any violence?
If in the next 48 hours or so, there's not like a marked difference in the police response and in, movement away from the downtown core by the occupiers, if I fear, I really, really hope not. I really hope not. Because we're Canadian, like we don't play this. We're not, Trump. We're not Trump Nation. We're not. That's not who we are.
Point taken. Well, let's hope it's better next time we talk around. But it sounds, from what I'm hearing, these people are really gonna dig in.
But I'm very curious to see what the relationship will be between the Black community, the Indigenous community, and the Ottawa Police Service and the Gatineau Police. I'm on the Quebec side, and the Sûreté du Québec and OPP after this is done. Are you all going to be able to justify snatching us off the road for, a taillight that's broken and then beating us up and dragging us to your cells? You kind of lost your credibility, sir.
Yeah, and it was interesting. The other day, I was looking at a social media post about the occupation of the Ambassador Bridge, which is another interesting. And I saw pictures where they're lined up, arm in arm. There's little kids. But someone made an interesting point. Okay, they made their point. If they get arrested, how are they going to be able to cross into another country if they've been arrested?
And you know what? When that was announced, like when the mayor of Windsor was announcing,
he wasn't playing
some of the sanctions, that would also explain how so many protesters hightailed it out of there once the injunction went into effect. No, we need that sort of thing in Ottawa.
Why isn't that happening? I haven't heard much from I've heard more from the Windsor mayor than I have from the Ottawa mayor.
Yeah, but the thing is, the thing is though, we're not at the border. So this whole crossing into the US
Yeah,
thing,
there's less financial impact in
right?
Ottawa to the country compared to Windsor.
There you go. Right? No, but also like movement between, like across the border. It's not like we're
Yeah,
half an hour away from the border or 20 minutes away, right? Crossing the border is not a daily proposition for us,
right,
right?
right.
So if you tell them, well, the thing I would have liked to see is people's licenses actually being suspended, cars being impounded, and commercial licenses being revoked. Maybe that's happened. Maybe that's how some of the trucks left downtown. They were threatened with that. And they said, yeah, it's not worth it. I'm going to go. The thing here as well is there's some 100 or so children in those trucks. Yes. So they're using children as human shields.
Oh my goodness.
And that added, and we didn't know that until earlier last week, at some time last week. And we were like, oh, that would also explain why the the police response hasn't been as forceful, right?
Could the prime minister, or how can he do anything different? Do you fault him in any lack of action?
I fault
Well,
everybody.
well, I think another interesting thing is the interim leader of the PC party, who were many of them supporting this initially, and now she's saying, "Please go home." I
Yeah,
think,
but you know why?
I think that the next campaign, you're going to see videos of that.
Listen, the Conservative Party so totally shot themselves in the foot with this because they thought they got confused. They thought they were the Republican Party of Trump. They forgot they were in Canada. And so I'm sure part of the calculation was the leadership race is coming up. We've kicked
Yes.
out Scheer.
Yes.
The leadership race is coming up, and we need to be fundraising. And that's what Pierre Pulliver is doing.
Oh, he's
The MP over in
taking full advantage of the situation.
Yeah. But you know what? That's so totally shooting yourself in the foot. Some very angry conservatives who were adversely impacted by the blockades, you're going to hear from them. You are going to hear, and the thing with these conservative politicians is they were on camera, they were showing off, they were taking selfies, they were smiling, they thought it was funny. And that interim leader you were talking about, there's a recording of her talking about the political calculation of throwing this grenade into Trudeau's lap. So, and they only started to turn around and say, oh, wait a minute, y'all need to go home. When the blockade was in Manitoba, I think she's a Manitoba MP.
Yes, she is. She is.
There you go. When it was Emerson, and then the border and farmers and economic interests and a conservative voter base. Oh Lord.
That was interesting. It was interesting to see the about face on that. Very, very, very interesting. What do you feel the impact of these events, and they're not finished yet? Are we going to see more of them? And what is the impact on Canada?
Well, so now I'm hearing a lot of the Buy America crowd are getting louder, and in fact, we are giving ammunition to that Biden agenda of repatriating production to the other side of the border. Yes. There's now, like, that's getting louder now because the supply chain has been disrupted.
Well, on top of the pandemic, and then you have this.
Yes.
That's like a left-right.
Exactly. So they're seeing that, oh boy, you mean Canada can also become a banana republic? What? So we can't be sort of looking at Canada as an investment destination. We have to start, looking at alternatives. So there's the reputation economically, never mind the whole Canada nice and the, the smiles and no. Economically and politically, our reputation was already sunk by Harper internationally, right? And now it's, this has not helped to elevate it for sure.
Like when
In
I
my
see,
opinion.
yeah, well, when I see, like I say, American news networks, they are making sure that this is going on. Bang, bang. They're making sure it's getting front page status.
So we now officially can no longer say, but in the US.
No.
No, we've had January 6th up here. This is our January 6th. This literally is our January 6th. This is an attempted coup, seditious activity, financed by foreign entities, plural, including the Trump camp and all of these people.
But
And
this is a big win for them though, because
big win,
their
huge.
message has gone global. It's
Yep.
international now. It's an
So
international thing.
But what needs to happen is now the Canadian state needs to act like a state that enforces law and order. Get the ringleaders, arrest the lot. You know the prisons where you keep those brown terrorist suspects? That's where they all need to live for a while to think about it.
What do you think the odds of that is going to happen?
I have very little faith because, again, white privilege, and also because of the involvement of law enforcement. Very little faith. But, we can always hope. If enough Canadians are outraged enough, because everybody has seen their face, they have said exactly what they are planning to do. It's very easy to find out where they live. It's very easy to seize all of their assets and their bank accounts and everything. It's easy to track them and make sure that they're not moving around freely.
Well, we'll see how much Canadians ask for justice.
Yeah, we'll see.
Right? This will be very interesting. So in our few remaining moments, going to cover two more things. First of all, you wanted to talk about the legacy of Mrs. Wanda Robson.
Oh, Wanda Eloise Robson, who passed away this past week at the age of, I believe she was 95 years old. She was born in 1926. Yeah, so she'd be 95, from Nova Scotia. And she is best known, even though she herself was an activist in her own right.
Yeah.
She's mostly known for her advocacy to get, well, first of all, her late sister, Viola Desmond, who was 13 years her senior, to get her a pardon. For those of you, especially from the United States, who don't know who Viola Desmond was, she was a woman who challenged the practice of racial segregation in New Glasgow in a movie theater, not on a bus, in 1946, right? And she was a very successful businesswoman. She sat in the whites only section. The police were called. She was dragged out. She was put in jail. And what happened to her became sort of a lightning rod for the civil rights movement in Nova Scotia. And so Wanda fought, and many years later, was it 60 something years later or some ridiculous amount of time?
Yep.
Managed to get the government of Nova Scotia to grant her sister a pardon. So she did that. And in between that, she was going around making presentations to young people, to schools, to institutions, to really sort of highlight the plight of African Nova Scotians, the way they were treated. And then she lived long enough to see her sister become the first Black woman on a Canadian banknote.
Yes.
Yes. Let me get my viola.
I know you'd have it near you. I know you'd have it near you.
Listen.
There you go. Uh-huh. Beautiful.
I have $1,000 worth of these. I don't spend them.
You're kidding me.
I'm not even joking. From the first one that I got at the unveiling of the Viola Desmond exhibition at the Bank of Canada Museum.
Yes.
This was in 2019, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
From that first note to now, I have not spent one. So I have $1,000 worth of violas. So there was that, and the same year there was the coin as well.
Yeah.
And there's been a stamp too.
Yes, there has been.
There's been a documentary, several documentaries. And
then we'll end off with Blacks at the Olympics.
The Olympics! Woo! Jamaica. Listen, I'm not even from Jamaica.
You speak 7 languages, 6 languages plus patois.
Listen, yad. Seriously. Oh, I root for everybody Black, but long distances, Kenya, thank you. Sprinting, Jamaica. Not even Canada, Jamaica. So listen, once again, you can count on 1.5 hands, like the Black people you're going to be seeing on any of the podiums at the Winter Olympics, because, traditionally we've been kept away. The racism, but also the cost of a lot of these winter sports, right? The people don't appreciate hockey. Ice hockey is so expensive. I have friends who are hockey moms and dads.
Oh gosh.
Who are like, it's expensive.
It's interesting. I'll be totally honest. I haven't watched a lot of the Olympics, but I was listening to the news today, and actually CBC has a gentleman that's doing commentary on
the first
figure skate.
Black.
Yeah. And they had an interview with him. Yeah, and they were talking about how expensive it is to take part in these sports, and that's why you don't see a lot of Blacks in them, because we don't got the money.
Yeah, it's a barrier.
Yes.
It's a very big barrier. But even when you do have the money, like Jerome McGinley, okay, so it's Black History Month. Hello, I'm sorry. I need to shout out some guy who has ancestry in Nigeria. Okay, Jerome McGinley, the first Black man to win a gold medal at an Olympics. This was back in Salt Lake City, Utah. Remember that one?
Yes.
Yes, Jerome McGinley.
I grew up in the same neighborhood as a gentleman named Mike Marson, who was one of the first Black Canadians in the National Hockey League.
There you go. Okay.
Right. And even back then when we spoke with him, he said, just don't think about the systemic barriers, but think about the economic barriers.
Yes.
He said it was a long, hard road.
Yeah, it's very expensive because you have to pay for ice time. You have to pay for equipment. You have to pay for equipment, and then you grow, so you have to keep replacing it. And
traveling to tournaments.
And the travel to all the tournaments and the trainings. Yeah. Figure skating, same issue. Oh my gosh. Figure skating, and Mr. Balde does talk about that in that CBC report. I invite everybody to go to cbc.ca and look up, the coverage and his commentary.
I really,
Vanessa James.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can reach out to him and have him on here, because I thought
that would be great.
It was such a good he was great. He was great. He just said it like it is. And I was so happy to hear, because I did not know he was doing the commentary at all. So I said, excellent.
And pretty much one of the first really to be doing that, because the Black commentators for Olympics are usually the Summer Olympics.
Yes.
Those Donovan Baileys, Perdita Felicians, and all of those people. But another thing that maybe a lot of us may have missed is the quota controversy. Before there was recently the IOC established quotas so that countries from the tropics could participate. Which is why you have Haiti in there, you have Jamaica in there.
Yeah.
You have Ghana, but I think Ghana they didn't manage to get the guy.
The IOC is a whole other conversation.
It's very corrupt. But Dr. Vine, they, because of that quota system, you got athletes like this Haitian guy, who is the
Yes.
lone Winter Olympian for Haiti,
Yes.
Aipopo Haiti, to be able to compete at all, even if he finishes last or whatever.
He competed there. There was representation there, and that's
representation matters. A lot of
Yes.
these athletes you'll find who compete for tropical countries actually live in Europe or North America. I know the Jamaican bobsleigh team have done a lot of training in Calgary ever since the whole Cool Runnings adventure. And,
I like hey, Cool Runnings forever.
Forever, ever, and ever. But anyway, so now that the IOC for Beijing decided, nah, we're not going to do that quota thing. We're not going to use as long as you can do this safely, you can participate. It doesn't matter if you don't have enough points, or you don't have, you haven't competed in enough competitions, blah, 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 like the usual criteria. And no, the IOC, probably at the behest of the Chinese, because apparently a lot of athletes, Black athletes, have been, arriving there and greeted with so much anti-Black racism over there at these Olympics.
That's China anti-Black race. That's a whole another cut. And again, a whole other, yeah. We'll just leave it at that. And especially you coming back from Africa, that's a whole other conversation. And China there, I'd say we got about 20 different conversations in the last 15 minutes, but we'll set that for another time. Sarah, as always, thank you for sharing with us your heart, your evaluated experience, and your insights. It always makes us better. And people do realize Sarah is an accredited journalist. She's not just saying things off the top of her head. She knows her stuff.
Well, most of the time.
Right?
Most of the time. I don't know everything, but
but she knows her stuff. But so what
I pay attention.
Yeah. She knows. She doesn't say anything without thinking it through. She doesn't just say it off the top of her head. She digs for the facts before she comes and shares with you. So please know that.
So you can tune in on Black every Saturday.
Absolutely.
From 11 a.m. to noon, where myself and my co-hosts have similar conversations, except it's not us talking. It's our guests who are more knowledgeable than we are on whatever the topic is. And you can find us at chuo.fm, and it's a radio station out of the University of Ottawa. I'd just like to really send a lot of love, and prayers and courage to all of those people who are standing up for Ottawa to get this occupation ended. Thank you. We're not always brave as you are. It's very cold outside. It's minus 20 something, almost minus 30.
Yeah.
All day it's been that cold. So I really appreciate what you're doing to get this occupation over with.
Well, let us speak it that in 2 weeks' time, when we have the roundtable again, we can look back and see what we have to look at forward. But let's have this chapter in Ottawa's history to be done, and how we can advance forward smartly, intelligently, rationally forward. So Sarah, again, thank you for your time. It's appreciated, not taking credit. And I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say it at the end again. Remember, give yourself grace, and don't manage your time, manage your energy.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
All right. It's Dr. Vibe, folks, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I host the only online conversation in the world for dads and fathers. It's co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization, and Dove Men Care. I'd like to thank everyone who watched live on the replay. It's appreciated and not taken for granted. You can catch me throughout the week, 5 p.m. Sunday afternoons, wherever you're watching. And then Monday and Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time, I co-host the Morning Vibe with Ryan Knight. And then on Saturday evenings at 9 p.m., I host and produce State of Things with Aisha and Jill that features Aisha K. Staggers and Jill Jones, where they give their takes on what is going on in that country called America and sometimes other global events. As always, I want to finish off with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace. And remember also, don't manage your time. Manage your energy. Thank you, BIA Media, for the production. We'll see you next week. We're scheduled to have Jennifer Holness and Suds Sutherland, who have produced a documentary on the History Channel in Canada about Black Canadian history. So let's speak it then. And then 2 weeks' time, here we have the roundtable, and we'll have Elle, Cesar, and Sarah back. God bless, peace to all, keep the faith, and walk good.